Coming up now on Animal Outtakes.
The hardest part is not being able to take a horse in, because we have limited space.
We visit a sanctuary dedicated to rescuing horses. And if you're a dog lover, there is no doubt you have gotten doggy kisses before.
Come here. Yes, give me kisses. Yes, don't let them lick your face.
Our Inspector Planet is testing the theory of how clean a dog's mouth really is. And get some treats ready. We have some training tips for you and your dog. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. I've always believed you can see inside the soul of an animal when you look into their eyes. And that's especially true when it comes to horses. And the ones we met at 16 Hands Horse Sanctuary in Ona, Florida, had quite a story to tell us with their eyes.
On an average day, we come in, feed them, clean, hay everybody, groom as many as we can, medicate and all that type of stuff.
It may seem like a typical day here on 16 Hands Horse Sanctuary in Ona, Florida, but it's a day most of these horses may not have experienced.
So we have 22 stalls under here, and they come in here for maybe an hour to eat. It's mainly for our convenience, not the horses. If we have a sick horse or something like that, then they'll stay in a stall, but otherwise they're out being horses, because that's part of the mission, is natural as we can get.
You see, this is a sanctuary, a home for abused or neglected horses, a place they will be taken care of. So why do you do what you do?
Well, I've always loved horses since I was a little itty-bitty thing, and I could never have them as a child because I had a big family and horses just weren't practical then. So when I grew up, I said, I'm going to get a horse. And I got one horse, and then I had to get 2 horses, and then people saw that I had horses and said, can you take this horse and can you take that horse? And it takes them about 4 to 7 days to learn a pattern, good or bad. There's obviously a need, so that's when we decided to go nonprofit and do it.
Close to 40 horses and 2 donkeys live here, and founder Robin Kane says they all have their own horse-analities. He's kissing the camera. But there is something that they all have in common. They likely wouldn't be here without 16 Hands.
Her name is Luna. She came from a rescue also. She was going to be put down because she has a condition called HEAVS, like COPD in humans. And all she needed was some regular medication. The 2 mares here, this is Lyric and Cricket. They actually came from a rescue in Ocala that was not doing well. And she's going to come say hi. That's Lyric. There's Cricket. She's like, don't forget about me.
And Patriata, he was brought over from Costa Rica as a breeding stallion. But thinking he had a disease, he was going to be put down. Until he was rescued. And now, Patriata is 18 years old.
Turns out he has what's called Wobbler's syndrome, which is a malformation of his cervical vertebrae in his neck. So he basically doesn't really have good control of his back end.
Now, was that genetic, or was that?
It can be genetic. It can also be by feeding them too quickly to make them grow quick, because this is a slow-growing horse. He's Andalusian Pasifino cross. They call it an Ibero-American. And it could also be because they flipped him over backwards when they were trying to train him. So it could be, a traumatic injury, or it could be genetic.
Could be, yeah.
We don't know. So he has that issue, and you could literally go push him backwards and he'd fall down because he has no control. He can go forward like a freight train, all right? So he's still a horse, but he's happy, and he's got a herd of 3 other horses that he pushes around if he can. And sometimes he falls down because he loses his balance, but he's usually pretty pretty cool about it. He'll eat grass or whatever while he's down there. Like, I meant to do that. I just wanted to lay down while I was eating grass, you know, or roll or whatever. So he's pretty classy about it.
And that's the inherent pride that these horses have.
Yeah, yeah. So they all, you know, they all have value. He's never been ridden. He's probably very happy he's never been ridden, you know. He's just happy being a horse.
You know, one of the things that we stress at Animal Outtakes is to do your research. Everybody thinks a horse is just romantic. It's magical, it's mystical. How hard is it to keep a horse going?
Well, they're not like a dog or cat. You know, they don't live in the house with you. So you need acreage. You need knowledge on their behavior and what they need to eat. You need, you know, professionals to take care of them, their teeth, their feet, that kind of thing. So it's a whole gamut of different things that you wouldn't think of. You don't just put them out in a pasture, especially in Florida. The grass in Florida is not that great. So they need specialized care. The hardest part is not being able to take a horse in, you know, because we have limited space. So I can't take them all. You know, I have to be very cognizant of the fact that I have to take the most critical, the ones that are gonna die if I don't take them. And if I can't take them, I try to, you know, reach out to other people and say, can you do this? But that's probably the hardest part.
Would you say that, at least here in Florida, that this is a pervasive problem, people not being able to take care of these horses and then having to seek somebody like yourself out?
I would say it's a big problem because people don't base their decisions in reality, and the average attention span of a human is not that great. So it's like, oh, this isn't fun anymore, and I really don't want to spend the money doing it. And then it just goes downhill from there, and the horse suffers. That's a big part of it. I'm not going to say that's the only part of it. I mean, a lot of people do care about their horses, and they just fall into a bad situation where, you know, health issue or a death in the family or something like that.
So if somebody is considering buying a horse, and you know, when we're all children, we all want a horse.
We all want the pony, right?
Absolutely. What is the criteria that we should be looking at, our mental list of, can we do this, can we do this, can we afford this?
Right.
And then go buy the horse.
Well, you have to have the funds, as in the money, right? So you should be aware of what it costs. So you should do the research on what it costs to keep a horse, like say for a year. And it depends on the horse, and as the horse gets older, it could get more expensive.
So your average cost, let's say, for a 2-year-old horse?
Probably a couple $1,000s a year. That's without medical.
Owning an animal, especially a horse, is no doubt a huge commitment and responsibility. But lucky for these horses, they now have a home and the chance to be a horse.
A lot of people say how peaceful they are and how stress-free they are, so I hope that that's an indication that we're doing it the right way. And I think that's the only barometer that you can use is the horse, right? How they're behaving and how they're feeling and thinking and acting.
Sanctuaries like 16 Hands rely on the help of volunteers and donors. Check out the sanctuaries in your area and help out if you can. And believe me, you'll see how appreciative those animals in need are. All you have to do is look into their eyes. You've likely heard the saying before, a dog's mouth is cleaner than your own. But is it true? Dr. Tracy puts this theory to the test.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Every dog deserves a lifelong loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. Every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN. You can be sure your furry friend continues to be loved and cared for even when you can no longer be there for them. Dante's Den provides a permanent, loving home for dogs whose owners have set up a lifetime care program for their beloved companion. We honor the trust placed in us by providing loving care, spacious dens, on-site veterinary care, and plenty of room to run and play. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN. Dante's Den, continuing the love.
Science is everywhere, and it's all around us. It's observing the world, forming questions, and the willingness to find the answers. It's something our Inspector Planet does every day, and you can too.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tracy Fanara, an environmental engineer, meaning that I use different disciplines of science to protect the environment, wildlife, and humans. At Marine Laboratory, I use investigation and myth-busting to solve problems. Denver! Hi! Yes, kisses!
Don't want to lick your mouth.
Why not? The dog's mouth is cleaner than ours. Isn't it? A dog's mouth. They eat, drink, and clean themselves with it. And when you think how a dog can actually cool themselves off through their mouths by panting, a dog's mouth is pretty cool. But is it clean? It's a theory we've all heard, but let's put it to the test. Denver, we are going to test how clean your mouth is. Am I right, or is Devin right? All right. All it takes is a quick swab of Denver's mouth. There you go. So we are going to make sure that it's all on the plate. We're using these petri dishes that contain agar, which is a solid medium that is used to grow microorganisms, like bacteria. Before each sample, we will spray the swab with filtered water. The filtered water and swab we will use for our control. So this one we're going to use as the control, meaning that we're not going to do anything to it. We're going to use some filtered water on our Q-tip, and that's all that's going to go on this. So we have something to compare the other samples to. So next we have to see how disgusting my mouth is. Good thing I brushed my teeth today. So first we rinse this with filtered water. Do this just like I did to Denver. Roll around the teeth and then roll around the plate, making sure we get all the bacteria that is in my mouth. That's gonna be kind of scary. I doubt anybody's gonna want to kiss me after this. Come on, we're not just going to test Denver and myself. Let's test some other common items too. Might as well. My mom always told me never to put my hand in a toilet bowl. She's not gonna be very happy when she sees this. So we're gonna go in a star-like pattern to make sure that any bacteria is all over. All right, now we are going to test a dog drinking water bowl. See if it's actually cleaner than a toilet bowl. We're gonna wet it, then we're gonna rub it. So next, label and close up the petri dishes. Now we're going to protect our samples in here and bring them down to the incubator, which is between 75 and 100 degrees, the perfect temperature for bacteria to grow. We're going to come back in 3 days and see our results. So we're here in the lab and it's been 3 days. Our results are in. You can see each of the samples came back with some bacteria, but which one had the most? Here it is in order, the yuckiest to the, well, not so yucky. Apparently, my mouth isn't crystal clean. That is my mouth. Now compared to Denver, I'm pretty clean. However, this is almost like apples and oranges. The bacteria in my mouth is so different from the bacteria in Denver's mouth. And humans aren't used to breaking down that bacteria that might be in a dog's mouth. So think about all the places where your dog's mouth goes. So, it's okay if your dog licks your arm or your face, but just don't let your dog near your mouth, your eyes, or your nose, and you'll be okay. Now, a lot of times we tell our dogs not to lick the toilet bowl, and well, now we see why. Kids, don't lick the toilet bowl. But, oh gosh, that even smells. It smells bad. Anyway, so we see in our toilet that there is so much bacteria, but looking at this dog's dish, it's not that much better. So we have to do a better job of cleaning our dog's dishes. Apparently, they have what they need to break down those bacteria, or your dog would be getting repeatedly sick. However, you're right if you tell your dog not to lick the toilet bowl. Because again, this is different bacteria than is in their dish. So are our mouths cleaner than a dog's mouth? No, and now we know that it's for multiple reasons. So remember, anyone can be a scientist or an engineer with some passion, hard work, and an innate curiosity of how the world works.
I guess it's safe to say the word clean isn't the right word to use when it comes to your mouth and your dog's. Bacteria can and will always be around. I think I'm going to stick to getting kisses on the cheek.
Sit. Sit.
That's right. Stay with us. Training Tips and Tricks is up next.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
When it comes to training your dog, stay is a common command that really every dog should know. But if your dog is having trouble staying put, here's some helpful advice. Jesse, any responsible pet owner is always worried about their safety. I happen to be a paranoid mother. So we've talked about come, and that's so very important, but equally as important, stay. How do we get that accomplished?
So all of our commands that we give, if you're with your dog, we include a stay. But then we also teach a dog how to stop in an emergency, right? So if I tell you to come, and now there's a car coming and I need you to stop, I can have you sit or down or whatever and you stay there. The biggest thing with stay is showing them that that's the only thing that works. So if I ask you to sit or I ask you to stay, a lot of people use the stay command. If I say stay and you get up and I make you go back, and every time you do, it's easier to stay there, that's how they learn it. Right? So it's the clarity in the command that you're giving. So I understand how to sit, I understand how to down, I know how to do it in motion, and I understand that if I get up, I have to go back. Because dogs want to do whatever's easier, so we use that to our advantage. If it's easier to stay there, that's what I'm going to do. Sit. Sit.
We'd like to think that they have an extensive vocabulary, but in reality, they are responding to really one-syllable words. Come, stay, go. We don't use that very much. Is there a reasoning for that?
It's more of a convenience thing, right? And dogs understand it better. It's easier for people. Even if you had this big, long command, they're picking up on one of the words. The biggest thing about any of the commands is showing them, because dogs don't come out knowing sit and down and come. That's how dogs can learn all these different languages, because they have no idea what you're saying. But they understand when they did something and they got rewarded and it worked, and you paired it with a word, they start to put two and two together. Come. Right, so you can say anything. You can train a dog that cheeseburger means to sit, ketchup means to come. It doesn't matter. It's as long as you show them what it is and you're black and white about it. And that's the struggle a lot of people have is, you know, the husband uses one word, the wife uses another, and the dog's not sure which one means what they
So you should have a printed vocabulary for the family.
Yeah, it's just about clarity, just like with kids.
So come and stay, you would say, is they are the most important.
Number one.
They are number one, almost synonymous.
Absolutely.
Practice, practice, practice. Jessie says repetition is the key to success. Work with your dog every day, and they should be able to stay in no time. Still ahead on Animal Outtakes, thunder and lightning storms seem to really roll in during the summer months, especially here in Florida. And those loud cracks and booms can cause your pet to run and hide. We'll tackle pet anxiety next with Ask the Vet.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
We've been experiencing a lot of thunderstorms and lightning, and I know you have dogs. I have dogs at home. We have dogs here at Dante's. They're beside themselves. What can we do for the anxiety?
Well, for all the dogs here, you're in trouble. But for your own dog, one or two at home, there's a lot of things you can do for noise phobia, noise anxiety, thunderstorms, fireworks, any of those types of issues. One of the best things you could do is a non-drug issue, which would be desensitization, where you actually train your pet not to be afraid so you don't have to drug or medicate. Now, it takes time. It has to be done properly and slowly, but what you can do is buy an album called Sonic Seasonings by Walter Carlos, C-A-R-L-O-S, Walter Carlos, about 1970. Musician, took the Moog synthesizer when it was new back then, and did music to natural nature sounds. And it's a 4-album in the old 78s, the big ones, which some of us remember. But
I do remember.
But I went online and I saw you can still get it. And one of the albums is a thunderstorm recording, and it starts real slow in the distance. And what you would do is your pet has to be very good at like sit, stay, have great treats, whatever the most favorite treat your pet might love, like a piece of cheese, liverwurst, roast beef, whatever. You make them sit and stay. You put the album on, and it's very soft in the distance. The thunderstorm's coming, and you give treats, and you keep your pet happy. And you only do it for a couple minutes, then you stop. Then the next day, you play the album again, and they're sitting and staying, and you go a little further with the album. So the noise is getting a little louder and louder. And you just do this literally every single day, just a couple minutes a day. And if you do it properly and slow enough, you can, they'll be sitting there waiting for their treats, and they could care less about the thunderstorm in the background. So that's actually desensitization. So if you want to do that, it takes a while, but if you do it properly, you can cure your pet without drugs. Now, the easier thing for the average person is to give them a sedative of some kind before the storm. And you probably have to do it at least a half an hour to 60 minutes before the storm. So that's not so easy to judge sometimes. But your veterinarian can give you a couple basic drugs. One is ace-promazine. We've probably used it for 50 years. We call it ACE for short. And it's a very safe standard sedative. You give it to your pet 30 to 60 minutes ahead. It helps them relax. There's a new drug that's actually marketed for this. It's new. It's only been out a few years, called Cilio, or dexmedetomidine. It's got a long, funny name. I even have trouble saying it. But it's a sedative we use injectably for like anesthesia. But they put it in a gel in a tube, and you put it in the cheek pouch. And it's a little, or you measure it with the way it comes, and you put it in the cheek pouch. You're not supposed to swallow it. It absorbs through the mucous membranes, and it's a good sedative for this issue. People do use like Valium and Xanax. You have to get dosages, of course, from your veterinarian. Some people will try even simple, like over-the-counter things like valerian root. And you've got to sedate them ahead of time, so you get them through. You can turn the lights up and close the window, the blinds, play classical music. Classical music has been shown to calm pets. You love classical music.
Yeah, well, I play them a little Beethoven. They like it.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's multiple things you can do for noise phobia. But desensitization, if you can do it, is the best because you cure them of it.
But you know, Dr. Glassman, there's always the question, why are some dogs bothered by it and others are not? Now, I have 4 personal dogs at home, and 2 are just fine. They could care less.
Right.
And the other 2?
Yeah, I don't know why some are sensitive and some aren't. It's probably just basic behavior, basic inherent, their nature. I don't know why some specifically are and some aren't.
So the idea is we turn up the lights and we play a little Beethoven and we hope for the best.
Have a drink yourself.
We hope you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
All right, what are we doing now?
Oh! Nice, yay! Yep. Just get that whole.
Like 2 more seconds to do that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be very heavy. We'll just use this.
Out.
You're rough.
So tell him out, and he'll let go.
Out.
No, when you're holding.
Okay, that's good.
You're lucky I can do this in one take, because I'm melting. Okay.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.